Hey, Orchinistas! Welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that you've seen my channel, welcome! I'm so glad you're here. Over the last holiday that we had here in America, it was Labor Day, and I went in search of driftwood. Let me show you. Wasn't that a gorgeous lake? Pristine. We had the whole place to ourselves. Very, very few other boats and jet skis were on the water for a Labor Day weekend. Oh my gosh, it was just nestled within mountains. It was over in Tennessee. Gorgeous lake, absolutely gorgeous. And I kept seeing all of these logs laying against the shore. And all that kept running through my mind was, oh, I'm searching for driftwood for my orchids. My son knew that I was doing that, was looking for it. And so he was on the jet ski one day and he found this floating in the lake. And he picked it up and tossed it onto the boat. We let it dry out really good. And then all I've done with this piece of driftwood to clean it is scrubbed it with a small toothbrush to get a lot of the red clay off of it. And that's pretty much it. It's who knows how long it was soaking in the lake. And I'm going to plant an orchid in it. You ready? Look at the hole. So it had a great hole that ran all the way through. And all I've done so far is I put coconut liner, that those hanging baskets that you get the coconut liners for. You can pick them up at your box stores here in America. So I put that in the bottom. I just cut up a little tiny little piece and about this size here, little piece like this, cupped it up and then just pushed it down in the hole so that way it kind of cups up in the bottom. And that way I'm hoping media that I'm going to put down here is not going to fall out. Air can get through, water can get through, and we're going to plant this little Tolumnia. The roots of the Tolumnia are small enough to go down in the hole versus a Phalaenopsis or a Cattleya whose roots, the diameter of the roots are really large. But I feel like a Tolumnia, part of the Oncidium family, will go down just fine. This is Tolumnia Jararac Flyer Giles. I think you pronounced that correctly. I pronounced that correctly. That is a kind of like a dark pink to a red. And so let's get at it here. So we're just going to unpot this. Now this is very wet sphagnum moss because this was just watered. It was either yesterday or today. It might have been this morning I watered it. So it's really good and wet. So I want to try to keep as much of the sphagnum moss as possible around the roots so that I'm not disturbing this. When I got this Tolumnia, I repotted it, got it out of the net basket that it was in, and I've already repotted it. So we're just going to try to push as much of this as we can down in here. And I tell you what, I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing. So why don't I change the camera angle and we'll get a better look at this. Okay, hang tight. We'll take this out again so that you can see those roots down in there. So I'm going to just gently press the sphagnum moss back around here, around these roots as it came out of the pot and was starting to fall apart. So I'm going to press it together and try to get as many of those roots down into this hole as I can get. Trying not to damage root tips. Got to be careful. See these here in the back right here that are coming out. So I want to be really careful with those and get those back down in there the best I can. And you know what might work if I had like a cake tester or something, because like a stick like this might be a little too big. Maybe if I do it on the sides here, it'll be all right. Just trying to get that sphagnum moss down in there. It's okay if some of these roots here that are on the top come out of the top. That'll be fine. Get maybe down below here on the back side here. Just want to get as much as I can around, stuffed down into the hole. What do you think? I think that looks okay. What I could do is try to get it a little bit more upright. Oops. That might be how it needs to go. I'll see if I can work on it a little bit more and see if I can get the plant a little bit more upright. Can you see that now? See if we get the plant just shifted just ever so slightly. To me, that might look a little bit better. And that's just going to be a matter of getting enough sphagnum moss underneath to hold it more upright. What do you think? I think it looks great. I can't wait for this one to bloom. And I'll decide whether or not I need to top dress any more of these roots around here with a little bit more sphagnum moss, just to keep those root tips nice and damp. I do water this when it was in the clay pot. I do water this about every 3 days. 7 days is a little too long. So I am trying to, I'm not really on a good schedule with the Tolumnias right now. I have 3 of them. One of them's in bloom. And I think I'm trying to water them obviously more frequently. Anytime you have an orchid that has really small roots, that's an indication that you need to water it more often. And it depends on your growing environment as well and the media that you grow them in. I chose to grow this in sphagnum moss because I am indoors, less humidity indoors than if this was growing in nature and it was growing outside in a basket. So this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to leave this little guy here. And I'll probably just tape the label maybe on the bottom, the back somewhere of the driftwood here. But let's keep an eye on this guy. I'll show you what it looks like if I can get it to bloom. Until next time, guys, happy orchid growing. Bye.